Hi, I'm the Moorlander and this is Moorlander EDC. I'm so chuffed to bring you today's piece because this is something that's been sat on my desk for about 3 weeks now. There's been a couple of things that have come up that I've had to get out first, but as my therapist is constantly saying to me, Moorlander, please put your shirt back on, which I never really got that bit. But what she's also saying is that everything comes to he who waits. So what we are here today to look at is the Copperfection, I like what they did there, Bitdriver set from GoodSkrew. Now, GoodSkrew sent me one of their titanium Damascus, the Damascus Bitdrivers, probably 4 or 5 months ago, and yeah, these things are absolutely amazing. They got in touch, they liked the content that I made for them and asked if I'd like to see one of their copper versions, but this one comes with a base, so again, we'll have a look at that in a second. Jumped at the chance. The team there, absolutely amazing. So before we even start, I just want to say a massive shout out to the team at GoodSkrew. They're just nice people, they're nice people to talk to, and so not trying to blow smoke up their arse, I promise. They're just really nice people and just a joy to kind of talk and banter with while we're talking about different things. But anyway, what I'll do is, to save my waffling, which I seem to have waffled quite a bit so far, I'll turn the camera around so we can take a closer look. Whilst I'm doing that, if you do enjoy this content, please feel free to hit like, subscribe and share. That would be amazing. I want to also say thank you if you do choose to do that. Thanks again, but for now let's turn the camera around so that we can take a look at this Copperfection set. Just quickly before I start, just leave a comment if you find that you're struggling or having an issue. So I've had a few people mention recently about the sound seems to be a bit down. Now I've not changed any of my audio settings or anything like that. So if this sounds a little bit quiet compared to other videos, then please shout out in the comments. I'd love to hear, and I'll try and see if I can address it. Now before we actually really properly start as well, I thought I'd show this off. So this is my original one. This is the Damascus version, which is titanium Damascus, and you can see the striations in there. Absolutely beautiful. So this was the original one that they sent me. I'll leave a link, whichever side this is on, so that you can see that on here. But they do lots of different materials and metals. Because this is made from titanium, it's actually quite light, but still got some nice heft to it. But I'm just going to put that there to one side, because really, we are here to look at this copper version, which I like the play on words, the Copperfection. So it comes in a nice sleeve. It's got a really nice box with some information on here where you can get it from, and then I'll open this up now. When you first get this, so you have some details in here at the top to show that it is authentic, and then I've got it here on the inside. Now I have already opened this, and it has been on my desk now for, like I say, I think it's been about it's probably about 3 weeks. So I've already pre-set this up, because what you also get in the box is you get some additional screwdriver bits so that you can put them into the base, and there's a couple of other things. You get some extra washers as well. Obviously the washers that you get in here are really high quality washers. I don't mean washers, I mean the spinny thing. What's that called? It's not a washer. Is it a washer? I don't know. You know the thing I mean, the spinny things, bearings, idiot. Anyway, so you get some extra bearings in there as well, just in case you do need to replace those in future. But if you took the bearings along to any sort of hardware store, you should be able to get some new bearings. But these are the screwdriver bits that you also get with this. But what I've done is I have put them into, so if I just take this out, might be because I keep moving away from the microphone, and maybe that's why the sound keeps changing a bit whilst I'm filming out here. So there's actually 2 components to this. Let me just make sure that I'm in focus. So you have the actual Bitdriver, which is pretty freaking awesome, but then you also get this, which is a base reminiscent of a revolver with the different chambers in there. Now I'm guessing with 8 chambers on there. This would probably be something more like a 22 long rifle, but still, this is ridiculously cool. So, weight-wise, I don't know what the weight is, actually. You know, it's made from copper. Copper is quite a dense, hard material, so it's probably quite heavy. I'd say it's maybe like half a kilo or so. To give you some measurements, it comes in just short of 40 millimeters. The diameter across it, again, is probably just short of 40 millimeters. You have this bottom piece here, which if I just flip this over, I'm holding that in that way. So when these, this is a pre-production version. So when these come out, here on the bottom, there will be the GoodSkrew logo on there. But at the moment, that's on the inside. And then you can see that this has been nice and weathered. I think when it comes to things like brass, and copper, you generally tend to fall into 2 camps. You like to keep them, you've got your brasso on one side, you always want to make sure that it is nice and clean, but then there's the people out there that really, really like the patina. So all of these items are all completely individual in the fact that when the patina is put onto this, they're all nicked and scraped and bumped ever so slightly so that it looks like this is something that your granddad, you know, cobbled together from an old revolver, which I don't know if revolvers would work in copper, but if they did, it looks just like that. So around the outside here, hopefully you can see, so all of the bits that come with it, they're all numbered so you can see exactly which ones. For me, because I'm using this mainly for knife maintenance, but I've also found that a lot of these also fit some of the screws in my rifle as well. So whenever I'm working on my rifle, these work perfectly on there as well. So I've got Torx heads, I think, if I remember rightly, I've got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. I've got 2 sizes of Phillips heads on there, and then I've got a flat head there as well. But when this is on your desk, it's such a fidgety thing. If I just spin that round now, it will spin for a good 3 or 4 minutes before it slows down and stops. In the center here, there is a little piece, and this bit comes out. So this is the bit that's been machined that has a magnet in there. So if I put that down for a second, and then there's an extra washer here just to make sure that it sits flush when it's on there. But the magnet that's in here marries up with the magnet that's in the screwdriver so that when it's on there, it fits into place. So that goes into the middle. But I guess as well, you know, if you didn't want to keep these together, you can take that out and leave it on your desk. But that fits into the middle, and then this washer goes on there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually do a little force patina on this with some ammonia, just to give it some nice colour, and that will sit, especially if I use ammonia, because it'll turn that into a really nice shade of green. But then that sits, when it's not being used, on your desk just like that, and this is so nice. My old man came around the other weekend and he was looking at this and he was like, yeah, I could do one of those, son. So the actual Bitdriver, to look at this, hopefully you can see here. Let's just make sure that I'm in focus. So if you're new to these, the way that these work is, you know, when you're working on things, especially with delicate or fine pieces that you're trying to work on, especially things like knives, you have that thing where you have to loosen your grip. But what you can do is by palming this part here, you can have that in your hands so that you can freely work on things while still being able to apply some pressure to them. It also makes an absolutely amazing fidget toy. And again, so the bearing that is in this, I remember the word that time, but the bearing that is in this will allow this to spin for 2 or 3 minutes before it even starts to slow down. And it follows a similar kind of theme, although this is 2, 4, 6. So this is so this has 6 heads to it. I guess that's the same. No, that's 8. Sorry, and this is 6. Yes, that makes sense. And then on the end here, you can see where the GoodSkrew logo is. Yeah. Now measurements on this one. The whole thing comes in at roughly 90 millimeters. The head on this, again, these are all rough, but roughly 25 millimeters. So that in old-fashioned inches is about 3.5 inches. Well, no, 25 millimeters is an inch. The width of the barrel here, let's see if I can get this, is about 15 millimeters at its widest part here. And then it comes down to roughly 12 millimeters here on the head, which is where all of your bits go into. So you can freely take any of these bits out of here. The head here, or the base, there's no magnets in this as far as keeping your bits in there, mainly because, you know, it's going to be up in that position. But when you put the bits in there, you get a really nice little magnetic click that sucks that in, so that you can make sure whatever you're working on, it will stay in. The magnet is also strong enough to pass that magneticism. Is that a word? Magneticism? Anyway, it will pass that through this, so if you are working on a screw and the screw comes out that's still attached to the end, it will still stay attracted to the end to make sure, especially with knife work and knife maintenance, those, you know, you drop one of those screws, you learn yourself a very quick lesson in trying to find it again, don't you? So yeah, it's very good being able to retain those with the magnets that's in there. Now I've got a couple of things that I thought, I mean, I've took these apart in previous videos, but this is my Bastion bolt action pen. This is the toughest pen ever, full stop, period, or, you know, whatever you call it. This thing is a beast. I'll leave a link again to this. The amount of people that have picked up one of these and they've gone, do you know what, Moorlander, yeah, beast is exactly how I describe it. But here on the end, you can take the clip off if you choose to. Did I just happen? Hey, I just happened to pull out the right one. Now, because of the weight that's in the copper here, the rotational torque force on this does get quite a bit of momentum, or damn it, I forgot my physics then for a second. But whilst you're unfastening it, you can give it a good spin like that, and it will completely unspin it because of the weight that's in this. Now, I have unscrewed this before. There was some blue Loctite in here, so that's one of the reasons that it's a little bit easier for me to undo today. But yeah, super simple, super easy to be able to get this out. We've also got my CVV Stylum. Again, you know, this is a gorgeous knife. Look at that. You'll be seeing more of this very soon, maybe even next weekend. But anyway, so here there's a pin here on the back. Is it? Yeah, so it just happens to be the right one. Put that in, and then again, you know, it's just smooth as butter. Really, really, really nice. The bearings in here, tolerances, absolutely amazing, and just the look and feel of that. Yeah, kind of speechless with this thing. Now, GoodSkrew are currently having a pre-sale on these items. I think there are the copper ones, there's also the brass ones, and then they've also got some of the titanium versions in there with copper top and bottom. I think there's brass top and bottom, but then there's also, if I remember, I think there's titanium and a copper version, which looks really, really nice. Now, definitely check them out, because I think they've also put a discount on there. They might have put a discount on there recently. But I think there is a few days left on that at the point when I recorded this. So I think this should go out on Sunday, which is the 3rd. I think they've extended it onto the 6th or 7th. But I'll make sure I leave some links below so that you can see more from them. This thing is amazing. Generally. The last 3 weeks that this bit has been on my desk, so many Zoom calls, so many Teams calls have flown by because I've just been sat there spinning this and spinning that as well. You can spin this while it's on the top, but sometimes there is a little bit of wobble in there, and that's mainly just to the tolerance that's in that bit, just to make sure that there's enough that you can pop it out. Absolutely amazing. I've probably said it 1,000 times, but I wish the people at GoodSkrew all the best. I've certainly enjoyed all of the random chats and stuff that we've had, so highly recommend checking them out. I will leave all of their links here. I will leave my social media links as well. Oh, and if you've made it this far, I hear there's a little bit of celebration somewhere in around North America. You know, I've not quite forgiven you guys for the amount of tea that that you damaged on one of the days there, but I'm sure I'll get over it soon. But yeah, so if any of you guys are having 4th of July celebrations, which I'm guessing is probably going to be a lot of the people that are watching here from the US, I wish you and your families all the best. Keep that American dream alive. To the rest of the world, hey, have a great Sunday. But for now, stay safe, stay Moorlander, and stay EDC.